That's much nicer lighting. Hello, Adrienne. Hello, Mr. Kennedy. View request. Wagwan, me there. Let's see. Nalinga, I know. Wow, we did it.
We did it.
Melena J, welcome. I'm going to snap a photo of us with our best smiles.
Yes.
Perfect. I'll send that to you afterwards as well.
Thank you.
So welcome, everyone. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Ryan Bean Yoga, welcome to everyone dropping in. Adrienne, thank you so much for saying yes.
It is my pleasure. I've been waiting all day. Like you said, I'm still looking forward to this. Like, this is my idea of a good time.
I know, right? Me and you both. Nicola, welcome. Hi, I'm so glad you've signed up for our program. Thank you for being here. And as I was getting ready, I thought we couldn't have chosen a more imperfectly perfect time for today's talk. We've just come out of this massive full moon in Scorpio. Mm-hmm. Oh my goodness. Kimmy Mess, welcome. And, you know, it's just the perfect time, really. So I'm so excited I can't gather myself. So let me just gather myself. Welcome, Yvonne. Welcome, everyone. Thanks for dropping in. I serendipitously met Adrienne through her cards. A dear friend of mine here in Jamaica of Canadian extraction actually gifted them to me, or Canadian of Jamaican extraction, whichever way she describes herself. And I immediately fell in love with this deck. And interestingly enough, Adrienne, yesterday I dropped into a Clubhouse conversation called Joyful Jamaica as I was doing our post about May You Know Joy, because yes, I do multitask. So it was kind of cool to big up the cards in another Jamaica-Canadian connection. So, and just looking at your website, I literally can feel the texture of the joy that you put into creating this product. There's something very, very tactile and primal and uncomplicated about these cards. My cousin from Tulum, Boho Vegano, welcome. You'll be receiving a package for me from the very sister I'm speaking to.
Yes, it is just being organized.
So, May You Know Joy. Talk to me about this. Talk to me about living intentionally. How did this come up for you?
Absolutely. So first of all, you know, the fact that you say, you know, that you can feel that joy and that energy, that makes me happy. That brings me joy. Like, if that's good, you know, the fact that these cards can be out in the world and take on a life of their own and resonate with people. I just want to create these simple tools to help us get back to ourselves and connect. And to me, living intentionally means we're choosing how we're going to show up. So I'm not going to go into the full backstory, but as you and I discussed last week, they came out of a very difficult journey for me. So I am now 9.5 years sober. And yeah, like, that's my joy. I don't think I knew joy before. And so when I was coming out of that, there were 3 things. So number one, I realized how much energy I was putting into my own destruction and these negative thoughts, etc. You guys know it. Well, I hope you don't know directly what that's like, but you can imagine. But we've all been through difficult times. So I thought to myself, like, what could I do if I used this energy to create a life that felt fulfilling to me? And
wow.
If I was going to all of this trouble to turn my life around, I wanted to be happy. I wanted to know deep joy. every single day. So does that mean I'm blissful all the time? No, it does not. But I'm always choosing joy. So does that mean having a difficult conversation? You know, is that ultimately going to connect me to my joy? Maybe. You know, resting, doing joyful things, but always thinking, you know, how can I connect to that? And again, when I was just starting that journey, I was so fragile. I didn't have a lot of energy. So I just realized I needed to do simple things. So I had a card deck and I journaled. And so these cards are the result of that, because sometimes we can, you know, go to a therapist or on a retreat, but other times we need simple nudges to help us stay grounded and connected. And remember, with the struggles, like, we're meant to get through them, to know joy, feel joy, live joy. We're not meant to stay in there. I think, you know, there's so much pain and suffering, but I think we're meant to learn and grow. And yeah, so here we are. And also, I wanted to add, a friend of mine had connected me to you maybe 4 or 5 years ago through this same small network, and I was coming to Bali, and he sent me your link and I attended one of your yoga classes. And so when you reached out to me, I was just like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Wow, there's so much richness in what you shared already, and some things I just want to recap because I know they're important. So, one of the things I love that you said, Adrienne, is that in spite of your chaos, you were able to see that glimmer of light, no matter how tiny it was. And that became your lifeboat, as it were, as you navigated to where you are today, 9.5 years later.
Yes.
So, you know, and that beauty and simplicity comes through with those cards. I remember, wow, it's 11 years ago. I broke my ankle as I was about to go off on a UN assignment. Like, literally, I signed the contract this morning and I broke my ankle this afternoon. And it was one of these crazy things because there was insurance, and then they were trying to decide whether or not I was covered by insurance, yada, yada, yada. But in that moment of when I was moving so fast and I couldn't slow myself down, and the universe decided to do me a favor, and I was lying on my back for 6 weeks with my leg up, that was when I had one of my first pieces published on Elephant Journal. And then I subsequently wrote for Elephant Journal for about 2.5 years following that. So, as you shared briefly, our frailties, our misfortunes, whatever you want to call them, there's a diamond in the rough in them. If we can just sit in the discomfort of whatever that is, rest assured that the diamond will shine through. And so, to come to what we're talking about today, how to use these cards, I don't even remember. I think one of the first decks, oh my goodness, we have so many people I want to welcome. Jackie, Mama Bird, Tina, Claire. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here. But one of the first card decks I think I came across could have been the Angel decks. Doreen Virtue, maybe 15, 20 years ago. And then I just fell in love with these card decks, you know, and whenever I teach at Kripalu, I'd always go into the gift shop, I'd always come away with 3 more card decks that I didn't really need, but I had to have. And
yes,
so, exactly. So I've worked with them personally, on and off, for many, many years, more on than off. And funnily enough, last year, Sienna Zen Rebel, my soul sister from Hawaii, welcome. I'm talking about cards. Sienna is also another card lover. She introduced me to the Osho deck and another really powerful deck we used at Esalen that I can't remember now. Back on track. At some point in 2020, the year that sort of made all of us look at ourselves front and center, I decided to stop all cards. And that was huge. Yep. And so what I wanted to know was, could I trust myself enough to honor the messages that were coming through and to live by unwavering faith?
I love that. I
Yeah,
absolutely love it.
yeah, yeah. And then as I started to guide some of my workshops, I was called to return to a deck, and that was when I fell super in love with you. I had dabbled with them before, but
Mhm.
consistently, it's the only deck I've traveled with to Jamaica on this particular trip. And what I love about them is they're clear, they're succinct, they're loving, they don't ruffle anybody's feathers as being woo-woo. No one can be labeled or not labeled as whether or not one is a tarot reader. And they either validate for me or give me something to reflect upon. So when people ask me, well, how do you work with cards? You connect to source, you drop into yourself. I would love to hear how you guide others in working with cards and any tips that you may have for us today, particularly as we're dancing in the Scorpio full moon medicine rituals. The floor is yours, baby.
I love it. And we can do a card pull. I have my deck right here. So, and it's a mixed deck of, all the cards that just land on my desk. But, well, there are a few things I say, because I don't think there are rules, first of all. Like, these are guidelines. So like today we'll pick one at random. So you can choose one at random. I often shuffle them. Sometimes one drops out. Sometimes I just feel called to one, like Nadine described. I'll just center, and ask, what do I need today? And that's what we'll do in a sec. But the other thing I wanted to add is, once you get comfortable with a deck, sometimes I will choose a card on purpose, so if there is something, I'm going through or I'm working on or want to create or want to manifest, words are powerful. So it's a powerful reminder to me of what I want to connect to. So let's just see, what does this group need today? What is our intention for our highest good? Oh, it just fell right on top. May you know kindness.
Wow, that's beautiful. May you know kindness.
May you know kindness. And I chose the word knowing because we all know these things already. Everybody knows kindness. And so these cards are never an indication of any kind of lack. They're not implying that you're not kind. They're just asking you, where is there an opportunity for you to explore kindness in your mind, your body, your heart, your life, your relationships, everything. So I'm going to read, there's a companion booklet to this, but as we were talking about earlier, everyone here, all of us, we know what kindness means to you is what matters. And what I love about these, I always pull one in the morning. So sometimes I think I know, like I could be kinder here, or this is what I should do, etc. But the universe is going, as soon as this is my intention, the universe is going to say to me, Adrienne, I'm going to give you lots of opportunities to practice being kind or not being kind. What could
Oh,
that
yes.
look like? So you're going to be called to know what's kind, what's not kind, all sorts of things. So the way it can show up sometimes surprises me. And kindness can mean different things to different people, different days, different times. So I'm
May I
just going to,
just, I'll wait until you've read. Please go
okay,
ahead.
I'll just read in the little booklet. So there's a passage for each card. May you know kindness. May you be kind and generous to yourself first. May you understand your needs and your desires and your boundaries. Be your own best friend. From that core of kindness, expand your kindness to the world. Show patience and tolerance and know that your kindness is contagious and a powerful source of good and of healing for many.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you so much.
You are
All
so
about the culture, Dr. Sairupa. Thank you everyone for dropping in. As you shared that, and I just dropped into embody kindness, one of my favorite sayings, be kind. Everyone you meet, including yourself, is fighting some kind of battle. So I think that message, Adrienne, is very timely for this crazy time that we're living in. And it kindness is the gateway to joy. If I'm being kind to myself and with myself, by virtue of that, I'm going to be kind to others, etc. And this is how we create the rippling effect. Wow, I love that. I love that. Any questions or comments from our audience? So one of the other things I wanted to share here is, seeing if anyone has anything they want to type in chat, is in Bali, and this is one of the things I've come to learn, Bali being what it is, and for those on this call who have visited Bali, being a very ethereal place, the fact that the Balinese live first in their spirituality and occasionally visit their humanness, as it were. Where in the Western world, it's kind of the flip. So what I'm able to present in workshops and women's circles, etc., in Bali is very different to how I would present on this side of the world. And obviously, we want to speak to people in a language of relatability. And so I remember a couple of circles where a couple of sisters would ask me about the meaning of cards. I remember a couple of times I've had women actually leave circle because they felt that the ceremonial piece, the altar as it were, what created some confusion for them vis-a-vis their conventional religiosity.
yes.
And yes, and so one of the things I want to say to us as sisters listening on this call, our DNA, our divine natural ability is in our intuition as women, particularly as women. The fact that we're able to birth another human being and feed this human being and lift a car off our baby, if that's what the universe asked us to do, already tells you that we do carry this superpower. And we ought to claim that superpower unapologetically. That's your self-sovereignty. And so as we go into this practice of circle and working with these cards, they give us a place to center and a place of affirmations. That's something I wanted to talk about as well. The other thing I love about this deck, and I'm not trying to sell the deck, guys, I already have one. So, but is
I'm
I love the way the words, they're virtually affirmation cards. Talk to us a bit about that.
Yeah, just to carry on what you're saying. Yeah, to me, when I was creating them, I just journaled about them. And again, there's just this deep sense of knowing. So any card that you're going to pull, you might be more or less, familiar or open or what have you, but they're all facets of our human experience. And like I said, they're all an opportunity to just look at a different aspect of ourselves. So to me, when I first discovered cards and why I created these is because just opened my eyes to looking at my life and my day in a brand new way. Like I'm conscious and I'm mindful and I'm actively living. So yeah, like I will place these cards somewhere where I can see it throughout the day. So whether that's on my fridge, desk, in my car, in my bathroom, wherever I'm going to be. And then with the affirmation piece, yes, this is what I want to go back to. This is what I want to connect to. And for me personally, and maybe you watching will find the same, in this world, we can get so on autopilot, you know, just going through, racing from one thing to yet another. And I was like, I don't want to live my life that way. I want to be present and notice what's going on. So these cards pull me back into that and help me create a life that feels like I'm paying attention to it.
Wow, I love that. There's something on your website where you talk about living intentionally and being on purpose in life. And I think most of the people who are listening may already know this, but when you are living intentionally, everything matters. From the moment you wake up, what you do, how you move, what you drink, what you expose your brain to, what you consume, who you engage with. And interestingly, to live intentionally, you actually have to slow down.
Yes.
And there's a gift in that slowing down.
Yes.
Your downloads, your transformation, your paradigm shift, your next level happens when you slow down. It cannot happen when you're moving 1,000,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. And to what you were just saying too, you start to have this ability to respond to the world instead of reacting, instead of that fear-based or based on all the patterning or whatever is going on with all of us. Not to say we never react, but you know, to sit with things and think, you know, yeah, how do I want to respond to this intentionally in a way that really feels aligned? And the other point that I just want to make, you know, is a lot of times, like, I feel like I get the question, okay, I gotta do 5 things and then I'm intentional. And I'm like, no, this isn't about like you do it and you're done. And it's not about being perfect. It's about like living in the mess and being willing to show up to the mess and for all the lessons, because they're always going to keep coming because it feels worth it to you. Like that this is just a fuller way of living. And the way, Nadine, when you're intentional all the time, it does take a lot of energy, but the world just opens up to you in really incredible ways. So again, it just feels worth it.
Beautiful. As you spoke about messiness, I remembered a conversation I had with Leah Santa Cruz, my dear friend who I am collaborating on this 28-day Women's Circle Leadership Training. And she said something, it was like an aha moment for me. When you're gonna clear something up, listen carefully, everyone. When you're gonna clear something up, you have to make a bigger mess first to then clear it up. And I went, oh my goodness, yes. So whether it's a drawer, a cupboard, a handbag, a conversation, you kind of have to throw it all out. You sift through, I don't want this, I'm throwing this out. What should I do with this? Do I put this on hold? And the whole thing is one big chaotic mess. And then with intention, one step at a time, you start to put things together. And at the end of that, you then have space for growth and expansion because you have actually created space.
I've not heard it described that way before, but when you're saying it, I just think, yes, that is absolutely true. And just I feel too, like just being, and it's not always true necessarily, but like finding some peace with the mess, like just being like, I'm okay with it being messy, you know, and it will, if we're intentional, it will get sorted out, and that's part of it.
Wow. Well, I noticed that no one has any questions for us. I'm just scrolling through here. What tips would you leave us with, Adrienne, in terms of connecting to these cards and working with them on a regular basis? And also, what else are you up to? How can we get your cards?
Yes, you can. I will create a promo code for you so you can share it later. I wasn't organized. So,
That's
but
fair.
yeah, on Instagram, I'm at May You Know Joy. That is my website. That's everything. I'd love to share the cards with you. And the cards are, as much as I love them, we love them, they're a tool. And so it's important that you find whatever tool is right for you. And I also pull one every morning, so I'll pull it for you if you want me to do the work. And, you know, I just pull one every morning. And it just is when I'm doing my meditation, my yoga practice, it just helps me get centered and think about how I want to show up for the day. I like cards because they're a visual reminder for me, but you could use lots of things. You could use a Post-it note. You could have a screensaver on your phone. Some people use a piece of jewelry or a scent, you know, something just to bring you back when you feel like the chaos is getting the better of you. Also, you can just set an intention on your own. You know, how do I want to show up today? What would be the best way for me to show up? And last but not least, I just think there are three foundational intentions, those being love and kindness, which we just pulled, and gratitude. You know, if we all on this planet lived from one or all three of those places and just had that motivating our actions, I think that we'd be in much better shape.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you so much. And just before we wrap, as I was listening to Adrienne, a thought that came up for me with cards. Sometimes we are confused. Sometimes we feel a little bit off-centered. Sometimes we may even feel anxious. And one of the things I find, if I am dealing with a matter or an issue and there's no clarity, I can't quite discern, I go to my cards, I connect with them, and the cards will often reflect an insight or a message, hi Laura, that I wasn't even aware of because I was so consumed that I missed the bigger picture. And so the cards serve to bring me back to center. So
And just keep it simple. It doesn't have to be complicated or elaborate, as was said earlier. Like, it's all already inside of you. This is just bringing you back and maybe providing a new perspective, a new insight. Like, you got it all going on already. Yes.
exactly, exactly. Wow. I don't want to be selfish. I want to give one of our listeners an opportunity, but if not, I may ask you to pull a card kindly. Hey, K. Dot, lovely to see you. If there's anyone that would like to ask Adrienne to lovingly pull a card on your behalf, please go do so. And if not, I'm going to take advantage of this wonderful gift and opportunity. However, I'll let our guests go first.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Shuffle while we're holding.
Okay. And notice what's coming up for you, anyone. If you're noticing if there's resistance, if there's excitement, just notice. Okay, Spicy Goddess, you go, girl.
All right. So, Spice Goddess, I love that. We are going to pull a card for your highest intention, for your greatest good today. Whoa, it just fell out.
Mm.
May you know openness.
Wow.
So, Spicy Goddess, for you in particular, but everybody who's here, there's always a message for all of us. You don't have to answer us. You can keep it close to your heart, but I want you to think about, maybe openness immediately resonates for you. And what does it mean to you today? How does it land in your heart? And if there's any resistance to it, that's also, there's always learning in everything that comes up. And the other part, if you're like, just not so sure, I encourage you to look for opportunities to be open, whether it's today, tomorrow, this week. And just for a little further inspiration, and people do ask me if this is what it means. And I'm like, yeah, I don't know what it means. This is just a little more food for thought. Okay. So may you be open. May you open your heart and your soul to the world. Always opening and never closing. Open to new ideas and people and experiences. And when you encounter something that doesn't serve you, let it continue to pass through the openness. Be like the flower that turns its face to the sun, opens to the warmth of the world, and blooms.
Wow, that's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. We have time for one more request, and I think, yes, another Yardie. Yvonne, she requested a card.
Okay, perfect. All right, it's Yvonne, did you say?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Yvonne, same thing for you and for, again, everybody who's here. There's always a message for all of us. Yvonne, we're going to pick a card. It's an intention that's aligned with your highest good for today. Inspiration land today. What does that mean to you? And I encourage you to look for opportunities to inspire or be inspired as you move forward. And we're going to take a little read here. May you know inspiration and its powerful energy. May you find the magic of inspiration sparkling everywhere you go. And may this inspiration be transformed in whatever way, shape, or form it is best manifested in your life. Be inspired and create beauty and magic in your life in every moment and every day. The world needs more of your infectious excitement, your unique creativity, and everything it inspires.
Wow, that's beautiful. What a beautiful manifestation on a full moon as we
Yeah.
are. Thank you
For
so.
all of us, as I said, like it's all for all.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow. So just before we go, guys and girls, yes, that's absolutely beautiful. A couple of things I want to say. Mother's Day in North America is May 9th. You have one amazing gift idea. May you know joy. Another wonderful gift idea for yourself or any sisters that you love. I have my Women's Circle Leadership Training, a 28-day self-paced program that starts on May 3rd. That program is completely self-paced. It goes for 28 days. Check my bio for more information on that. I was trying to type the link in, but it's actually Women's Circle Training without an S, but it keeps defaulting to S. The other incredible thing is on May 9th in the afternoon, you'll see the flyer come out later on today. I'm doing a virtual experience on mother love, loving on yourself, mothering yourself with so much yumminess. And I invite you to drop into that. Also another great gift idea for you and others. And of course, you know which cards I'll be featuring then. I've decided this is my 2021 deck. Sizzler Pete, great to see you. Everyone, thank you so much. Adrienne, any parting words of wisdom and love and joy, or you think we got it? I think we got it, but over to you.
I think we got it. I just want you guys to be simple. And yeah, you know, it is just a huge act of kindness to choose yourself, choose how you want to show up, choose what you want to create. And I thank you for joining us. This was awesome. And thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy. You can watch the replay, share the replay, and we'll see you very soon. May you know joy in all areas of your life. Woohoo!
I love it.
Take care. Thanks, Adrienne. Okay.
Bye.
Bye.